I'll be back. 3 words that could mean anything, but you can't help but say them in your head in an Austrian accent, can you? We all know who said them first, and it's the one and only Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'll be back.
Give us a drum roll, please. From an impressive car collection that you can't help but admire to admiral acting, here are 15 things you didn't know about Arnold Schwarzenegger. Before we begin, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing videos every day. That being said, let's begin. Number 15. Then and Now. We all go through phases in life where we become infatuated with something and dedicate every waking moment to it. For most of us, though, it's a passing fad or phase, and we move on to something else. Not ol' Arnie. Arnold Schwarzenegger started weightlifting when he was just 14 years old, and today, still going strong. Arnold's parents both had ideas about what they wanted him to be in life. His mother wanted him to go and learn a trade, while his dad wanted him to be a police officer like himself. Clearly, no one asked Arnold what he wanted to be, and it wasn't either of those things. He started working out and is now an internationally renowned bodybuilder, political activist, businessman, actor, producer, and activist. What's interesting to note about Arnold back then and Arnold now is that not a lot seems to have changed. While he looks older in the face, his muscular physique is still as impressive now as it was back then. According to Arnold, he still works out most days too, so not all that far different from the young 14-year-old that started lifting weights. Number 14. Golden Globe for one of his roles. Arnold Schwarzenegger was a bodybuilder first and actor second, but there were definitely times throughout his early career where he had to put his acting first, and it paid off. Arnold landed a supporting role in the 1970s in the Jeff Bridges film called Stay Hungry. Arnold played the role of Joe Santo, a bodybuilder who was training for the Mr. Universe competition. The movie follows the purchasing of a gym that was set for demolition in Alabama, with a wealthy layabout and a dishonest businessman in on the deal. After spending time with Joe, the unscrupulous businessman decides he doesn't want to follow through. Of course, Arnold was the perfect choice for the film as the bodybuilder, but he was already competition ready. Therefore, he actually had to undo a lot of the hard work he had spent many months and years doing in his personal life. He lost a lot of weight for the film, and it had quite a significant impact on his career in bodybuilding. But we're sure he would have been completely okay with that, especially since he won a Golden Globe for his efforts. Number 13. Net worth. Arnold Schwarzenegger saved up all his competition winnings to come to America, which is what makes it all the sweeter to know just how staggering his net worth is now. He is one of the most successful bodybuilders in the world and is an extremely accomplished actor. Both of those accolades come with a hefty value, so it's of no wonder that his net worth is thought to be around $400 million. At the peak of his movie career, he was earning around $20 to $30 million per movie, and has even been the highest paid person in the world of entertainment at various times throughout his career. But if you think he throws it all away on gold-plated toilets and insane purchases, you'd be wrong. He has made a variety of investments, including real estate, to the tune of over $100 million. His most substantial paycheck came from the 1988 movie called Twins, which starred Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger. They all agreed to take no salary, but would own 13.33% of the film each. Because the movie was a hit, they all earned $35 to $40 million each, which is worth about twice that when you adjust it for inflation. Number 12. Car collection. If you're gonna have a net worth of $400 million like old Arnie Schwarzenegger does, then you're gonna have more than one car. After all, you've got money to burn, so you can afford to buy a few out-there vehicles to have fun with. As it turns out, Arnold has more than a few. Everything from giant trucks and military-style vehicles to flashy sports cars appear in his garage. Arnie is no small guy, so it makes sense for him to own some relatively large vehicles. One of them is a 5.7-liter V8 turbocharged diesel Hummer. But it's no ordinary Hummer. It's one that looks like it should appear in action films and military movies. It's olive, has no doors, and has giant antennas that can cause some awkward situations at takeout drive-thrus. Carrying on that theme, Arnold also owns a Mercedes-Benz Unimog, which is a brilliant off-road vehicle through and through. It's used by government officials and military and is powerful enough to handle almost any road or non-road you can find. But some of his other vehicle choices are a bit tamer. In among the 20 or so vehicles he owns, he also has a Bentley Continental GTC. As luxurious as they come, it has adaptive cruise control, carbon fiber brakes, and 552 horsepower with 479 pounds of torque. He also has an electric Hummer, which he lent to environmental activist teenager Greta Thunberg. Number 11. Biography. If you thought you knew everything there was to know about Arnold Schwarzenegger, then you'd be wrong. There's also a movie biography about him that highlights the various successes and failures of his life, not to mention the old rags to riches classic angle. In his biography, you can learn all about the impossibility of an Austrian bodybuilder from a small village becoming one of Hollywood's biggest stars. But the impossibilities didn't end there. Who also would have thought that he would marry into the Kennedy family, become California's governor, and become a successful property investor, producer, actor, businessman, and activist? Probably no one. After all, he struggled even to land acting gigs in the beginning because of his thick accent. When you look back at the early stages of Arnie's life, it definitely doesn't seem like he could have lived the life he does today. He was born in Austria to the local police chief and his wife, and he was keen from a young age in physical fitness and bodybuilding. Arnold competed in several small contests, saved his winnings, and set off to America, where most of his dreams ultimately came true. Number 10. Election. When you achieve everything you have ever hoped to accomplish in your life, you may be wondering what comes next. For Arnold, it was politics. Arnold entered politics in 2003 and ran for governor of California in a recall election. He was elected as the governor when then-Governor Gray Davis was recalled. He served the rest of the Davis term from 2003 until 2007, and what a wild ride it was. By the time 2006 rolled around, Arnold's campaign was in full swing, and he came back to serve a full term as the governor on his own merit from 2007 until 2011. Due to term limits imposed by the Constitution of California, Arnold wasn't allowed to run for a third term, but we're sure if he were, he would have successfully been re-elected. Even though he couldn't be governor, he was able to remain involved in politics, but in more of an environmentalism promotional role. Most people know how passionate Arnold is about the environment from his friendship with teen activist Greta Thunberg. He even loaned her the use of his electric Hummer as she traveled around the US. Number 9. WWE Hall of Fame. Most people know that Arnold Schwarzenegger is a bodybuilder, but did you know he's also heavily involved in WWE? So much so that in 2015, he was inducted into WWE's celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame. Arnold has been integral to professional wrestling throughout his lifetime, but he also played a massive part in the WWE side of things when he worked with them in 1999. He was even presented with a championship belt on WWE SmackDown. Many people remember that early episode well, for it was when he got into a physical altercation with one of the company's top honchos, Triple H. According to Triple H, who is the WWE Executive Vice President of Talent, Live Events, and Creative, the WWE team was excited to induct Arnold into the Hall of Fame. They said his larger-than-life presence both on and off the screen created many memorable moments in WWE, making it more than fitting for him to be inducted. Triple H, too, was inducted into the Hall of Fame, making it more likely that the pair will both have some interesting stories to tell. Number 8. Acting career. We know that Arnold Schwarzenegger is a bodybuilder. His body really does speak for itself, and you don't look like that while lying on the couch watching Netflix eating fried chicken. Oh, how we wish that were possible. But old Arnie is a jack of all trades and a master of most of them as well.
We're married.
Consider that a divorce.
His acting career is off the charts, and we're pretty impressed by what he's achieved. Arnie has appeared in over 30 movies and has even dabbled in producing and directing, as if he wasn't already talented enough. In his first film, he was credited as Arnold Strong, probably because his last name is a bit of a mouthful, but after that, he was given his birth name. The majority of his work includes comedy and action films, but he has also appeared in music videos for Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, and Bon Jovi. How versatile can this man be? He appeared in two well-known film franchises during the 80s, the Terminator series and Conan series, and he was a hit in Commando, Total Recall, and Predator. This man is a machine, and we don't mean it in the Terminator way. Well, we kinda do. Number 7. Family Details. Okay, so Arnie is a successful bodybuilder, actor, politician, activist, the list goes on. But as it turns out, his personal life is far from perfect, and you can rely on the media to dig up any dirt just in time for the political season. Microwave some popcorn because things are about to get real. Arnold Schwarzenegger married Maria Shriver in 1986, but it was revealed that he had been having an affair during their marriage. He had covered it up and hid it pretty well, but a bit of dirt began to show up in 2003 when the LA Times exposed him for supposed sexual misconduct. But that wasn't the end of it. After 2 terms in office as the California governor, the real truth came out. He'd had an affair with the family's housekeeper, Mildred Baina, and had even fathered a child called Joseph Baina with her. Maria Shriver had stood by her man throughout what she had called gutter politics, but the love child was the nail in the coffin. She filed for divorce in 2011 and moved out of the family home. Number 6. Arnold Classic Bodybuilding. We didn't think our pal Arnie Schwarzenegger could get any cooler, but it turns out he can. He's an actor, a bodybuilder, straight up genius, and now he's the figurehead for the IFBB Arnold Sports Festival. Yeah, Arnold has a sports festival named after him. The event, which also goes by the name of Arnold Schwarzenegger Sports Festival, is held every year with many different activities. These include professional bodybuilding, figure and bikini, fitness, and strongman. It's held in February and March in Columbus, Ohio, and run by the International Federation of Bodybuilding and Fitness, IFBB. It's probably of no surprise to anyone that it's one of the most prestigious events in the bodybuilding and physique world, only pipped at the post by Joe Weider's Olympia. Given its popularity, it's also probably of no surprise to anyone that thousands attend this event, not only to participate, but to view. It's just yet another one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's many talents and accolades. But it also certainly helps that there were some reasonably substantial prizes up for grabs, including a Hummer, Audemars Piguet watch, and a check for $130,000. Number 5. Attacked in South Africa. Do you know what the definition of a rookie mistake is? It's thinking that you can attack Arnold Schwarzenegger and win. Yeah, cause that's gonna happen. Not. Arnold was making a public appearance in Johannesburg in South Africa and was on Snapchat filming children during a sports game. While he had his back turned, because you wouldn't attack him while he's facing you, an unknown man made a flying kick into his back. In true Arnold fashion, he only stumbled slightly forward without any significant drama, but security quickly grabs the man and takes him away from Arnold. While they're manhandling him, he's shouting, "Help me!"
Come here.
Yeah, that's right, stranger. You're the one who's gonna be needing help after trying to fight the Terminator. Arnold wasn't all that fazed by the altercation and said he was just pleased that the idiot didn't interrupt his Snapchat. Arnold may be in his 70s, but his rock-solid body and unflinching disposition, even in the face of a challenge or threat, show this absolute legend still got it. Number 4. Arnold Schwarzenegger Cigars. You can look like an average Joe when you're sitting there with your hands empty, but as soon as you're holding a cigar, you all of a sudden become a whole lot more distinguished. You might assume that's why Arnold Schwarzenegger is rarely seen without a cigar in hand, but the truth is far more interesting. He was first introduced to cigars by Ted Kennedy, his ex-wife Maria's father. He offered him a cigar that ignited a love previously unknown to him. Now he's a proud connoisseur of the good stuff and can spend hours talking about the intricacies of each flavor and cigar type. His passion runs so deep that Cigar Aficionado even named him the Cigar Smoker of the Year in 2014. Yeah, that's actually a thing. His favorite type of cigar is called Punch, but he's willing to try any and all cigars at least once. He also knows the history of different brands and appeared on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon to discuss the inner workings of cigars. The cigar industry surely saw a boost from Arnold's love for the product, and they won't be all too unhappy with that. Number 3. Charity. When you have a net worth of over $400 million, it's pretty likely that you're gonna do your part for charity, and Arnold certainly is. To highlight his charity called After School All-Stars, which provides programs after school for financially challenged youth, Arnold took part in a pretty hilarious prank. He visited the Wax Museum and spent some time in the makeup department to look like his character in The Terminator. He then pretended he was the wax statue. The kicker? When people got their photos taken, he moved and scared them all witless. The reaction of each and every person who had their picture taken was priceless. Some were confused as to whether he was the real deal or a lookalike.
I'll be back.
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 And some merely stared at him like a stunned mullet. It appears that this prank by Arnold Schwarzenegger more than had the desired effect. Once he was finished in the Wax Museum, he then took to the streets to pose next to his hand and footprints on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Who are you? I'm the Terminator. I'm the T-800. I'm a cybernetic organism.
While he had a great time doing these pranks, he didn't forget why he did it. Arnold says he does a ridiculous thing and has a great time, but while getting you to pay attention, you're able to learn more about something that is close to his heart. Number 2. SmackDown appearance. When you've already done a lot in life, you may as well throw your hat in the ring, or your body in this case, and get involved in WWE. So that is exactly what Arnold Schwarzenegger did. This born entertainer and jack of all trades made an appearance in the early episodes of WWE SmackDown, where he annihilated Triple H after the main event had even taken place. By doing so, he became the World Box Office Champion. Triple H, whose real name is Paul Michael Levesque, is a pro wrestler, actor, and executive vice president of talent, live events, and creative for WWE. He also founded and is the producer of WWE NXT. Through performances like SmackDown and Arnold's efforts to promote the sport of WWE, Arnold was inducted into the WWF WWE Hall of Fame. He also inducted one of his close friends, Bruce Sammartino, in 2013. Where he spoke kindly of his contribution to and promotion of WWE. Bruce Sammartino is an Italian-American pro wrestler that was dubbed the strongest man in the world and the Italian strongman. Number 1. Arnold Schwarzenegger's best friend. It's always a tragedy when we lose someone we love, cherish, and adore, but it can often be even harder if you're a public figure in mourning and have to grieve in such an open way. That was the reality for Arnold Schwarzenegger when he lost his best friend, Columbu. Columbu and Arnold had been friends for 54 years, and he was the best man at his wedding to Maria Shriver in 1986. Many people also remember Columbu for his role as an actor in films. Arnold wrote a beautiful tribute to Columbu, which showed just how close their friendship really was. He said, "From the minute we met in Munich, you were my partner in crime, and we laughed at every moment along the way. I'm devastated today, but I'm also so grateful for the 54 years of friendship and joy we shared." According to reports, Arnold's friend had died in an Italian hospital. He had been swimming near his hometown of Olalai on the Italian island of Sardinia when he started feeling unwell. He died not long later. We'll be back. Yeah, we will. In the next video, like we always do, Arnold Schwarzenegger continues to impress his fans with everything he does. Was there anything we missed on things you didn't know about Arnold Schwarzenegger? Are you his biggest fan? Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on screen right now. See you next time.